It's time for Quarantine Cabaret Cocktails with Robert Bannon and Lee Lessick.
$50 We've been here.
What? What are you doing?
I was going to cut this balloon, have some helium, and then sing Alex Newell's part in Once on This Island.
Of course you were, because what else?
Was that what we're starting the show with, Lee? Did I get the wrong notes?
You may have. You may have. That is hysterical. I never know what that first beat is going to be. And let me just say, that was hysterical and so on point.
Happy 50 weeks of quarantine.
Happy 50. Can you believe we had this crazy idea? April 2nd, we started 2020 to do this weekly chat show. And boy, have we had amazing guests on. It's just been such a joy. I can't believe it's been a year.
It's been quite the year.
It has been. But we're still here.
We're here, and thank you all for watching. Last week, we had so much fun with Tommy Davidson and Bruce Valanche.
Oh my God, that was hysterical. We needed some laughs, and they brought it.
And this week, the cast of Once on This Island is here with a beautiful new vinyl album release from Broadway Records.
Beautiful. It's so beautiful. Yes. So I want to thank Broadway Records because they brought us the cast of Color Purple a few weeks ago with their vinyl album release. And tonight we've got Once on This Island. And these albums are stunning. They are just stunning. So anyway, that's exciting.
I think every Broadway Records release has Grasan Kingsberry in it. I think Leap of Faith is the next. I don't know. I think there's a double blue Leap of Faith album coming.
It just has to be. If he's not on the show, it didn't happen. The show never happened. So for those, we have developed amazing, loyal weekly viewers from all around the world. Robert and I do this pre-show Instagram live chat just to remind people that we're alive and still doing this and that they should click the link in our bio. And so people chat with us, and that's how we find out where they're watching from. And we have fans in Australia and New Zealand and Belgium and London and Paris and Ghana. And I don't know where they find us, but we are thrilled. And so next week, tune in because we have people from all around the world joining us. So it'll be fun or a hot mess, but we have some, like every other week, right?
Surprises and people literally from all different time zones. So it'll be really fun to put faces to the names of the people who have watched us all 50 weeks of the show.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And for those of you that have been following us for a while, you know that we launched another series called the Broadway Cast Reunion Series, because on this show, several times we've done Broadway cast reunions, and we noticed that our viewership really spiked, and the emails that we got, and people just really resonated with people. And so we realized that there are all these tour venues around the country that are dark. They've been dark now for a year, and it'll be another 6 months at least. And so we thought, wouldn't it be great if we could employ out of work Broadway artists? And so we came up with this crazy idea called the Broadway Cast Reunion Series. And we've sold the episodes to these venues that are dark for very little, but so that they could share it with their subscribers and patrons as a gift of engagement until they can reopen their doors. And it has been such a fun ride. We premiered in February with Frozen, and then Hadestown, and then The Lion King with Heather Headley, which was a dream. And last week was Dear Evan Hansen. And boy, That was something. I just want to show you, just so you get a little taste of what it's like.
Hi, everybody. Welcome
How
to the
are you?
cast reunion of Dear Evan Hansen.
I've seen all of these people in the show.
To be able to go to the stage every day and see how much it meant to people, it was stunning.
The three of us started out as understudies the first year of the tour, so we were backstage every day.
Like every time we do You Will Be Found, it always kind of feels like, okay, this is the song. Like we got to get this right, because this is the song that a lot of people come to hear, and we got to get this right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The best thing that ever happened, well, never mind, I'm not gonna tell that story.
I think it'll actually be really refreshing after already having performed together. I think it's gonna be fire, straight flames, guys. It's gonna be great.
Please welcome Jordan Fisher.
I was working in Hamilton at the time. He dropped waving through a window. I had no clue what was going on, but I knew I freaking loved it. By the time I got into the theater, I was wailing, right? And I'm a baritone, and I did not have that range at that point. I had to really, really work at that. If I had it my way, I would just do Broadway.
I get it.
The scene at the dinner table where I'm just sort of like going, like right in his face. He's like, oh, here we go.
It was wonderful.
This show will come back.
My first day of rehearsal, I walked into my apartment and Jordan was just sitting on my couch. Look at us now.
Make out! You guys make out! I feel like I still don't believe that it's happening. Like, it's been a year, I've had the time to process, but it still hasn't hit. That's the thing I got to do.
I think So Big, So Small can't be beat.
I get the best seat in the house, too. It's the best.
To know as a byproduct that you're also really healing people's hearts and minds.
I mean, I think that we all heal every night as well.
It was fun.
It was fun. It was fun. Next Wednesday, Jersey Boys. We're discussing 15 years of Jersey Boys worldwide with the co-book writers, Rick Ellis and Marshall Brickman, and the director, Tony Award winner, Des McAnuff, is going to be with us. And I think that's going to be fun. And then on the 17th of April, we have a special matinee because we've got the London cast of the hit musical Everybody's Talking About Jamie, along with the director and the composer. And that's going to be fun.
I'm going to get my fan ready because
I bet you will.
Bianca Del Rio will be here too. So we'll be here on the 17th. So
very excited. Very excited.
All right. So exciting stuff, just like tonight's talk about a cast reunion.
Yeah, I know. So tonight we've got the Broadway revival of Once on This Island, which I got to see. It was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. And they've just released the vinyl version of the cast recording, which is stunning. And so we're going to bring on the cast, but we just want to show you a little teaser of the show for those that haven't seen it.
Come share with her our laughter and our tears. And as mysteries and miracles we fall through the years, we tell the story. Life is wild. Tell the story. Hope is wild. We tell the story. Faith is wild. Tell the story. You are wild. Sweet little girl, it'll take you far. Just a little friend, I'll be by your side. Just like a mama's word. Take your child, the earth, and whatever you need, mama will. Mama will. Mama will. Oh, mama will.
Oh my, 8 shows a week. That note, 8 shows a week. Are you kidding me?
Oh
Man, 7
yeah. Not the matinees. It was the sand. It was the sand. The sand.
Wow. Well, I have to say, I saw the original Once on This Island. I loved it. I loved it. I just loved it. The fantasy, the story, it just really touched my heart. The score is stunning. And
gorgeous.
yeah, and I didn't know a whole lot about this production, but I work a lot with Leia Salonga, who was in it, and so I was in New York, and I thought, well, I have to go see it. So I got I got a house seat to go see it, and friends of mine from Philadelphia, where I grew up, met me in the city for the matinee, and we're having lunch, and I get a text from Leia, and she has strep throat. So I didn't get to see her.
Oh no.
I know. I don't remember who her understudy or cover was, but she was fantastic. And the show
It might have been this one or this.
It might have been Cassondra.
That one.
Oh, okay. Well, you were fantastic.
Depending on the day, could have been C. Oliver.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
Gorgeous. Oh my God. The visual of this production was like nothing I had ever seen. I mean, it was, you were there. You were right there on the beach.
On the sand. Yeah.
On the sand.
Yes.
Michael Arden, my hat is off to you. What a visionary.
Oh yeah.
Jump right in.
I remember when we first got to the theater, like everywhere you turn, there was something intricately a part of the story or a part of the gods or the villagers or the village. So for me, every single day I would discover something new, like a new shirt or the shrine for Urzuli's shrine or Papa Gay's hidden gems over there. So it was a fully immersive experience, not only for the theater goers, but for us actors too. We were immersed in this world from the moment you get in to the round.
Oh yeah, I thought one of my favorite things. I understudied both Asaka and Mama Yurli. So Asaka was cooking. She was actually cooking on stage, and that was one of the smells I think that brought the audience in. And I used to love when I came on because Cassondra, she had her dietary needs, and some people didn't eat meat, and some people, and I'd be like, okay, I've got mushrooms and peppers, they're ready. But the funny thing was sometimes audience members would put their 2 cents into my cooking. They're like, oh, that's too much garlic. And I'd be like, wait a minute. Don't tell me how to cook in my show.
Plus, just having the audience like right there.
Right there.
Sometimes you have people like sitting 2 feet from you while you're performing.
If that.
And they're like part of the show. They're talking to us the whole time and everything. So it was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Now, David, you are coming to us from Dubai.
I am. Yep.
What?
I'm in Dubai. I just got here and I'm a little jet lagged. It's 3 a.m. And yeah, I'm in Dubai.
Well, we're glad to see you.
Are you there?
I'm glad to see you because my eyes were really closed about an hour ago.
Are you there are you working? Why are you in Dubai?
You know what? Last year when the pandemic hit, my birthday was like 2 weeks after everything shut down, and I did absolutely nothing. So I vowed this year would be different. So my birthday is coming up again, and this is part of the celebration. So
wow,
gifts of money are accepted. Give some money.
Wow. How was that traveling so far in this time in our lives? Was it easy or?
It's gotten easier, I think, now than before. You still have to wear a mask all the time and goggles and gloves and all that kind of stuff. I'm fully vaccinated. Obviously, you have to take a test, a negative test before you can get on the plane. So it was fine. I got to go first class, so I had a bed, and I slept 8 hours, and here I am.
David has been saving that money from that corner.
You hear?
No.
Keeping those coins.
Every dime
Every dime, every nickel.
Every
Yes.
You owe the government some taxes.
That's but I'm gonna borrow from you. Borrow from you.
Every time
Does everybody have their album?
Oh, I have mine.
That's all right,
Right.
Tyler. David didn't pack his in his carry-on.
It's okay. It's all right.
Tyler stole his on eBay.
Beautiful.
Listen, my album is right here. Every note, baby. Every note.
In here.
Man,
We love to tally up how many Broadway show credits, and on the screen you see a cast that has been in a collective 32 Broadway shows.
Wow.
32.
Wow.
That's what
Thank you, Grace Ann and T. Oliver.
Oh, right, Grace Ann.
That's me.
sounds like that's the two of them.
And Grace,
Just the two of us.
Between the two of them, they got 32.
How dare you?
And we all got one.
well, the color purple cast got on Grace Ann, but we do have to get this. He's got you beat. T. Oliver Reid has got you beat.
Yes, he does.
No, I think do we not have the same now?
I think Hadestown got you more.
Okay.
I stopped at 11.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right.
How many are you at, T?
13.
13. That's a whole teenager.
How's your
I
back?
was saying, it just means I'm old. That's all. Hey, Philip boy.
Philip boy.
No, we're sending Philip love. He had a death in his family, in his community. So we're sending him love, and that's our boy.
We love you, Philip.
We love
Yes.
you.
We love you so much.
We love you, but I still got my biscuit recipe.
His biscuit recipe is not the best, so we're not even going to start.
Okay, well, as long as we're clear on that. Okay, so Lee and Robert, the entire run of this show, Cassondra makes a delicious biscuit, and Philip says he makes a delicious biscuit, but he never brought the recipe in for somebody else to try the delicious biscuit, so we don't know for sure.
Because it was scared.
Since I'm the eater, I'm the eater of the group. You know I'm at the food table. I don't care what it is. What I can say about T. Oliver, he knows how to make a cake.
Yes, he
Look,
does.
I was going to bring up that lemon cake frosting because that thing, I went and slapped my mama. She was very upset with me.
Listen, well, yeah, no, because listen, as the dance captain and swing, my rule was bring them something on Saturday if they make it through the entire week. Listen, Q never got anything, but the rest of y'all got some food.
I'll be shutting my computer down.
Y'all going there already?
I know.
I'm telling the truth. First of all, it's one of the best casts ever on a Broadway stage. The group of people that was put together for the show, without a doubt. So we got to have a lot of fun with each other the entire time, and make fun of each other, and laugh, and cry, and hug, and protect and support. So it was good all around.
Absolutely.
I mean, Cassondra even played the flute. I feel like that's not discussed.
That's right.
enough.
I forgot about that.
Homegirl was like,
started on the flute.
I just see because I would actually have to understudy her part too. And during rehearsal, I tried to pull out my little flute that I haven't touched since junior year in high school. I packed that thing back up and put it back on the shelf.
Now, Aurelia, what did I say? I said, put the flute down. Put the flute.
He did. Tyler was like,
Don't do it. Don't do it.
You're doing too much. Put the flute down.
I tried. I gave it a try, and I was like, you know what? We'll leave that in the 1990s.
Yeah, now y'all remember my favorite moment of restaging in the show. I since we talk about the food and stuff, new stuff that changed. David Jennings in the opening number when you're like, I'm gonna stop dancing, I'm gonna start acting, and you go over there to Asaka's hot plate. I looked over when it's like, is David not dancing? Oh, David has made some acting choices. He's
over there stirring up the peppers.
He did that.
A snack.
You know,
yes.
When
And
they're
it's made.
to make choices.
When it's made.
Oh, got that authenticity.
No,
because that's real. Everybody goes to the kitchen. Everybody's got to see what's happening in the kitchen.
The real funny thing,
y'all
no,
ate
the
that
real
food.
funny thing
I
is
didn't.
is the discovery, David. I said, T. Oliver, what's David doing over there?
David is silent right
And it
now.
was my favorite. But it was my favorite part of the show.
Exactly.
Favorite part of the show.
It was my favorite part of the show. It really was.
David taught me how to build a track.
That's right. That's right.
No, and I bet you learned something from that too, right?
I did. No, I did.
Yeah. From now on.
You're in
now
Dubai,
on.
baby. You did it right.
That's
You're in
right.
Dubai.
Look.
Well, as you can
First
see,
class.
the questions are coming in already. We can't not talk about the chickens and the goats. We were talking about the pre-show. The goat,
The goats.
is some real consistent acting. That is some good work by the goat. Can you talk about how that was introduced to you guys as a cast?
No, Peapod and Sparky.
What'd you say?
Oh, that one time that goat jumped off that boat and hit me in my leg. Now the truth is, I wasn't that hurt, but I was mad.
Was it Peapod or Sparky?
We had two goats. Yeah, we had
Peapod.
Peapod and Sparky.
Peapod was the mean one.
Okay,
Peapod
Peapod
was
was
the
the mean one.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like
Mean one.
Peapod wouldn't listen and do what he was trained to do. Sometimes he'd get excited and would
wanted
jump
to
on
fight.
people.
He was like,
Yeah, with a full weight.
Drop his little black beans all over the sand.
Oh. Wait, can I just say that Peapod was the worst behaved, but that's because he was abused by Sparky. See, y'all didn't see what would go on in the back. Sparky was mistreating Peapod, so when Peapod got away from Sparky, he would just act out. So
Okay,
I'm
so
just saying.
let me talk about that acting out though, because then his trainer would be like, "You have to treat them like this." Is like, no, this is a goat. I'm gonna treat the goat
full
like
animal.
It's like it's an animal. So like they tell you with the dog, don't let the dog lead you. Keep the dog beside you. If I
Right.
had to go on for him, it's like, stay right here, gently,
That
but
is
gently but
hysterical.
forcefully.
And then you had 3 chickens or 4 chickens.
Well, it started as 4,
Yeah.
but
Was it 4?
Effie, it was
What was her name?
It was Effie, Laurel, Dina, and Michelle.
Yes.
And
That's right.
Effie,
It was.
she got a little too big for her britches, and she would not. She did.
That's
She got
right.
kicked out of the group. She got kicked out of the group, and
Very
Michelle
true.
literally took over. Michelle was on the Tonys.
That's right.
She was.
Yes, she was. And
right.
Dina laid an egg on me on stage. She laid an egg right on me. I didn't know that could
I don't
happen,
remember that.
but I ran off the stage so fast because I was gross. I thought she pooped. She sometimes would poop, and I ran off the stage.
Oh wow.
Oh no, I'm
So
sorry,
did you-
really. Go ahead.
No,
you
because that's it.
remember
But when I
that?
got off stage, there was an egg. It fell off of my, like it was in my elbow, like in the bin, and it fell. And I was like, "Oh, it's an egg." I thought it was poop. She laid an egg on me, but it was soft. Dina has passed on as well. She had a little issue, which is why she was laying soft eggs. But the other ones, they're still with us. I stay in touch with Lydia.
Oh, good. Lydia was our animal trainer.
Do y'all remember when the goats pooped on the red carpet at the Tonys?
How could we forget?
Yeah. At Radio City, right?
How could we
Like, we don't give up. Yeah.
Yeah. So I do remember that the goats had to go on the red carpet, but some of us didn't.
No, nobody asked me to go no red carpet.
Stop.
Wow. Well, this is a direction this show has never gone. I kind of like it.
Poops and red carpets and animals, yeah.
Yes.
Well, Lee told his story about going to see the show. I got to see the show twice. One of my favorite people in the entire world is Roderick Covington. And yeah, in the entire world. So I'm sorry.
With the biscuits. He ate them with the biscuits. Thank you.
And the show puts you out. The direction and the commitment to the score and the story. The story and besides the music is so moving and just such a touching piece of art. It must have been quite an emotional journey every night. That's a pretty exhausting story to tell on 8 shows a week.
It was.
You know,
I mean, intermission too.
What was interesting is I remember the first preview that we did, And we knew after, because the show changed a lot up until the last moment. And the very first preview, we looked out of the audience and we saw people like sobbing. You remember that? And we looked around at each other like we didn't know. We had no idea that it was going to, you know, affect people that deeply. And from then on, it just became this emotional roller coaster throughout the show that we were all surprised about, because we rehearsed like up until 10 minutes before
literally
time to start the first one. Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't know this too. Like, obviously the story itself is really emotional. And it's easy to kind of get caught up in that. But the most impactful part for me emotionally was that tree that she becomes, that down telephone pole, had pictures of all of our deceased loved ones on it.
Okay.
So when we would go over to the pole in the beginning, in the pre-show, we were honoring people that we know and love. And honoring the other people, like it might be one of Grasan's relatives or Tyler's relatives, and we would get to know each other's people on the tree. It was really beautiful to sit and pray and honor these people together.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I feel like those little parts helped influence and thread the fabric of this community we were trying to create.
Right.
This village, this town. It really made our experience personal, but it made the story more personal for us, and to convey that we were really connected in this community.
And credit to Michael for that, because he definitely wanted to make sure we were going to that pole. Like, y'all not going to the pole now.
I went every time.
Me too.
Yeah.
I was always.
Yeah. And then we got to talk about I mean, not only were you all singing and acting your faces off, but the dancing. Camille Brown, like the choreo of that show was like a whole character in of itself. How was the to learn the choreography and to be able to do that together? It's such an ensemble. You guys are on there literally the whole show together. It must have been something.
I have something to say about our
Yes, please.
She is the most amazing person that taught me, and I will say all of us, so much. I came from a school with a lot of white context, with a lot of things. I danced, I learned how to dance. And, you know, I could pick up things, but the choreography was very specific. And I was like, oh, I don't feel like I, you know how to do this like really, really well, or this or that. She was like, it's in your DNA.
Yes.
And to be taught, nurtured without being, you know, just all of this stuff in such a quick time, like made a huge impact on my life. And I think that she is a goal. She's just so inspiring without trying to be, without maybe even knowing, but made a huge impact on my personal life through my professional life. And I think she's incredible.
Everything she does has honesty and integrity. Like, and that is, it's felt. And I especially appreciated her because, as y'all all know, baby girl could not dance. She came to the show, she couldn't dance, you know.
MVP.
But she taught me, and she was patient with me, because I went from like, baby, you know what, just kneel over here and don't worry about no choreography, to like really being able to embody it and to feel comfortable in that. And that was because of her, like not placing limits and limitations on my capacity, on anybody's, you know?
Yes, Camille is an educator as well as
she is.
choreographer and a fabulous artist and dancer herself. So everything that everyone just said implies how amazing of an educator she was. She literally made everyone in the cast dance, from Philip Boykin to Mia, you know, our girl. So, you know, that speaks to just how she can translate movement to literally any body.
Wow.
Anybody. Yeah.
Literally. And may I add that after dancing 8 times a week in sand, I was finally able to walk upright about 2 weeks ago.
But David,
we were in pain a lot. Walking down.
It was a challenge.
You know,
dancing.
It was a challenge.
Dancing in sand. I mean, I've come from concert dance. I've never ever danced on sand. ever. Walking on sand is already laboring. Like
hard enough.
On the beach is laboring.
Right.
So I remember during one of our work sessions, we all kind of caravanned to the pier in New York.
Right.
Test all this amazing choreography to see if we can do it in the sand. And baby, we were on the
a lot of things weren't working.
A lot of things weren't working because the floor literally moves away from you. So
and it's important to note too that there was ceramic tile initially underneath us.
Yeah.
So like they would wet the sand, so the sand was moving and we were slipping and sliding all around.
Yeah.
I remember the one time after pray, I was like, pray.
A lot of trial and error.
Right next to great sand. It's like, all right,
Slip or tripped or something with the sand. It was a challenge to say the least, but we figured it out.
It was a team effort. Do you guys remember that the first idea was that we were going to sweep the sand off of the rug?
Right.
And then when we got the tech, they tried it, and it was like, this is not going to work.
It was a good 2-8 count. It was like it was a good 2-8 count. So we said, it's supposed to go 1, 2, 3. We're halfway done. We went.
Somewhere I saw a video of me and Darlicia trying to get that carpet out of the truck.
With your hat. You said it was truck lady.
But I remember that it was our stagehands. It was Rob and Owen who figured out, like, actually, let's put a tarp underneath, have some strong, beefy men pull. I mean, that was some serious pulling. Yeah, that was some serious pulling.
Well, we all had to. We were the stage hands. Yeah. Everything that moved and everything that operated, everything that opened, everything that closed, the players were responsible for.
Yeah.
The ensemble, the cast, the principals, even.
Yeah.
Philip Boykin had to bend over and roll out a rug.
He sure did.
And pick it up and carry it back off.
That's right. And most of the vocal work originally the instrumentation was much larger in the original Once on This Island, but we had, how many people were in our band? 4 or 5?
I think it was 4.
Are you counting me because they like to take me out?
Oh, I said see 5. I was actually including you in that 5. And oh yes, and the real candles. We have real fire on the stage. But yeah, we had a lot of the instrumentation was vocal. They the original idea of this show was to have it a cappella, and that apparently didn't fly with Lynn Ahrens and Stephen Flaherty, but they kind of liked where they were going. So we had a lot of an a cappella feel to much of what we were doing. So a lot of the things that you heard were also the players making those sounds.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And try to cuckoo in a plie in the sand.
In the sand.
And playing instruments. We all had to play some sort of instrument. We all had to play. What was the company's Bang on a Can? Is that that's a what was it?
Bash the Trash.
Bash the Trash. Yeah.
Bash the Trash. They were responsible for creating musical instruments out of literally a plastic bottle or a pot and pan. So we all had to play these instruments throughout the show, which also had a layer of skill. Exactly.
Go ahead.
And singing your part.
And singing your part.
And there was sheet music for that stuff, wasn't there?
There was. There was.
In the beginning.
Wow.
Yeah. Anne Marie did not play. Anne Marie did not play.
Yeah, that was our vocal arranger. She had a really fine-tuned ear. She could hear a pin drop and be like, "That's an F sharp."
Yes.
And I need an F natural. So she was really.
And if you were off a little bit, she would lean in.
This is And honestly, like she could. It's like every sound had texture to her.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, it's not like just say, yeah. It's like, no, it's like, I want, yeah, like poke holes, everything, poke holes in it.
Poke holes in it.
Poke holes in it.
Yeah,
that's why you don't have holes in y'all's chords.
Exactly. Right.
Like she's amazing, and what she did was amazing. But there were definitely a couple of times like, okay, these are vocal cords, and they don't work the way that that wind instrument may work. So I'm gonna have to have a moment to. I'm gonna have to really get that in my system.
Right.
And pray on that.
Figure out where that lives. Figure out where it
Find
lives.
a way to do it. Yeah, that's healthy.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard Emery when she was with the East Village Opera Company?
No. How could we find that?
Recording, screaming and hollering for her life, honey. She's
Emery and my dear friend Tylee Ross, who's now in New York, but he's from Toronto, formed a group called the East Village Opera Company, and they basically, it was a rock band with a fiddle section, and they sang famous arias, but re-envisioned as rock numbers, and it is the most incredible thing you've ever heard.
Wow.
It's called
Nice.
Village Opera Company. It's on every musical platform, and their vocals are, the two of them are like ridiculous. I mean, her voice.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I can imagine.
She is a special person.
Unbelievable. But do yourself a favor and check them out, because they're not in existence anymore. I mean, they are, but the group is. It's musically the most thrilling thing you will hear.
They're soundscapes. She creates soundscapes. And textures.
Yes.
She's a genius. I'm sorry. I mean,
She really is. Yeah.
Don't be sorry.
Honestly.
Don't be sorry.
Yeah, because like what we were doing sometimes, what we were doing things with our voices, but you couldn't call it singing. Like some of it was soundscaping. I think the best way to describe it.
Wow,
yeah, you all made it look easy on sand,
You know what?
dancing in harmony.
It was not.
Cooking chickens. Goats. You
No,
made it
but
look
it
easy.
was that kind of a show where from the minute you walk into the theater, you know, you're like, what is going to
The show's already happening. Yeah.
What is happening? And you literally just pulled us into your world of fantasy and discovery, and it was stunning. It was one of the most stunning theatrical experiences I've ever had, I have to say.
Actually, had you ever seen your... Oh, go ahead, Dave. I'm sorry, David.
Oh no, I was just saying it felt like that too. It was a perfect storm for us. Like everything just sort of came together on that.
Absolutely. I was curious, Lee, if you'd ever seen a show in that theater in the round before.
The only other show that I've seen there was Fun Home, but was that before or after you?
That was before.
Before. That's the only time I've ever seen a show there.
Okay.
And I shouldn't say it. I mean, I love that show. I really enjoyed that show, but the space, because it's in the round and it's sort of an oval, like like an
arena.
An arena. That it was hard for me to stay focused. You know, I kind of kept like drifting off into my mind and whatnot. I remember when I saw Fun Home, because it was hard to stay focused. Whereas when I saw Once on This Island, I mean, you can't do anything but focus because this production just like pulled you in. Like
that sunblocking.
Yeah. I saw Fun Home there too, but there was something about that theater and Fun Home that it felt like you were in an arena watching from a distance. Whereas Once on This Island, I think part of it was that the immersive quality of the show, that you felt like you were in it. So you felt like no matter where you were, and the seats were no further back, that you truly felt like you were like right on top of the sand and a part of what was happening.
I remember the first time I was
there was always you could find. I mean, I watched the show so many different times, and there were so many different things to look at each time. You could sit in a different part of the show and see a different perspective, a different person doing something different.
Right.
It's just there's no show like it, I think.
Right.
No.
I remember the first time I was swung out and watched the show, and I was like, this is what we're doing? Like, this is what we're making? It was, I wept and I couldn't stop crying. Like, are you all right? No.
No, I'm not.
No, I'm not. Like, I can't believe we're making something so beautiful.
Yeah.
And remember where if some places where you sat when the storm happened, you could feel the wind like that. So I remember that surprised me because I was like, oh, I didn't know that all this was happening.
I discovered that after we won the Tony, and I said we should win another one for this.
Yes.
We all should get one.
Yeah.
But can we talk about that night we won the Tony? Because remember us on the bus?
Yes, you can.
That was an incredible experience.
It
Holding my
was.
phone, watching CBS,
On your phone.
on my phone, right?
Yeah,
That's,
it was.
Oh, I was holding your phone.
Yeah, you held it. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had just finished performing, and for some reason they bused us back to the theater versus keeping us, backstage.
Right.
They called us back, and on the way back to the theater was when they announced Best Revival, and I was hoping that we would get it. I didn't expect us to win it, but when we did, it was. I mean, our reaction was priceless.
I lost my voice.
We jumped off
so
the
much.
bus.
I mean, that bus could have powered just from our energy.
Honestly.
Yeah. We had a party in the street. Like as soon as we got back, people were coming up to us like, "What happened?" We won it.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a beautiful.
Like our producers won a Tony.
I earned that Tony. I'm like, no, that's ours.
No,
I feel like we all earned that Tony, each and every one of us.
You're right, Aurelia.
You're absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna look over here at these people on this picture. I'm not even listening to y'all.
T, what are you doing?
I'm looking at the people in the back of the album.
Well, the album is out. It is gorgeous. It's a double album. It is a beautiful orange that Broadway Records has put out together. And there are some beautiful, I mean, you guys are singing on this. And it's a beautiful score, and the album is beautiful. You can get it at Broadway Records.
Yes.
And get it on vinyl.
And it was the so many Broadway debuts, including Cassondra here and but Haley Kilgore. You got
Isaac.
To look at what that story is doing. Yes. So it's also that thing is like there were so many levels of family going on, and Michael really did help sort of set things up from those early days.
Oh yeah.
Those days of those of you who did those early workshops, and then the last workshop leading into rehearsals, and just the way that the cast helped shepherd the two little girls who played young to Moon, and also with Haley, and just the way everybody dealt with everything when Grasan hurt his foot, when Philip hurt his foot, when anytime something happened, it really felt like family was rallying to make sure that that people were okay, and then we would worry about telling the story.
And you as our dance captain, you were a good steward of that, T. I mean, I remember moments when we would have rehearsal before preview, and we would be like, what version of the show are we doing today? You would rally us in a circle, put some peppermint or some oil on your wrist, smell it yourself, and here you go. So I have to applaud you, T, for being a great captain, an amazing captain.
And I want to jump on that because T. Oliver, little known fact, I think T. Oliver played every role in that show except Andrea.
Except Little T Moon.
Because that was yours, David. That was your track.
That's right. I owned it. I owned that role. That's right.
See, you guys weren't all a party to the swing. I was one of the swing. So the text message, and like as things would change, it'd be like update. So-and-so is out. Now so-and-so is on for so-and-so. And I will never forget, I was in the car. I was on my way coming down to play. I don't know. I know the plan was for me to be somebody. And then it was like, update. Now you're going on as so-and-so. And I was like, okay, cool. Then it was a third update. Nope, actually, you're going on as so-and-so. And T is going on as woman one. My husband was like, oh, I'm coming to the show now. I want to see this.
Well, I love your woman one, T.
Listen, I really didn't get to see it, but I know I missed something beautiful.
That was
go ahead. There was lots of swings and people that went on that were not gender specific. If it's Papa Gay or like with Merle and Roderick, and now to Oliver, that's such a unique and fascinating way to do the show. But I love that it just encompasses it and lets people play different roles and different takes of the characters.
It's how it should be.
That's exactly how it should be.
And you know, the only thing,
go on.
I was just gonna say the only thing that was specific were the vocal parts.
Right.
Because they were all interlocking. So also, round of applause for our swings, because not only did they have to learn each individual track that they were covering, but they had to learn each individual voice part. They had to learn each individual voice part for that. And even David.
This speaks to the love and nature that we have for each other. That was all love.
I love that. I love that.
Shout out
Thank
to
you, Alex. Thank
Alex,
you, Alex.
talk about
Listen,
a show-stopping
I want to
number.
just take a moment and go like around the screen. We're going to start with Aurelia, and we'll just go around the screen and hear where you are. You know, how has your quarantine been? What you're doing, and what you're going to take out of this.
Well, you mean like where I am right now?
Yes.
I am at home in Connecticut. And yes, I would come into New York from Connecticut every day. And that's why as soon as the show was done, I was out of there. I didn't hang out too much. But the quarantine, I have a 9-year-old son who has been home doing the distance learning. So this is like this room right here. This room plays a lot of roles. This room is the swing room because this is sometimes the school. This is sometimes my audition space. This is sometimes his hangout spot because his battery has run out on his iPad. So he uses the desktop. So, but there's been, we've been home where all three of us are home all the time. It's great. Well, let's see. I've had a couple of projects that were coming. They've been postponed. I just learned that they were postponed again, but hopefully, we're going to be coming at you next fall. I'm doing a show at Goodspeed Opera House. It's the premiere of Anne of Green Gables, and it's the musical version of that story. And another project that I was working on that also is, it was coming, but now it's, pushed off, but it's called Shame, which is a musical retelling of the Scarlet Letter. And
wow.
It's so much drama. I didn't remember all this drama from high school English, but so those things are coming. As I know more, I'll tell you guys more.
Fantastic. How about you, Tyler?
I am in New York still. What was the question?
What you doing?
What you doing, boo? Listening to Aurelia, I said, all right, GW, all right.
You were on the tour before quarantine.
Yes, hello. I was on tour. I was y'all Daniel. Supposed to come to LA. That was a chop, but we made it to Dayton, Ohio, and Hershey, Pennsylvania, and
don't do it.
But no, I loved it. They cheap drinks, baby. So I feel really lucky and blessed. I got to shoot an episode of the final season in Pose, which comes out. I think mine's May 23rd. I don't know. I'm in episode 5, so I'm excited about that. I just did a concert film called Lamb of God, where I played the role of Thomas. That came out a couple weeks ago.
Doubting Thomas?
Yes. But let me tell you, he is judged.
The Bible.
He is judged for but one moment.
Okay.
He is judged. Now, so that came out a couple weeks back. It is playing. It's so, I always went to the movie theater with my father. That's like a good memory from my childhood. And I was like, Dad, I'm going to be on the big screen one day. It's on a big screen, but 37 states out of 50. And New York ain't one of them.
It's a global economy.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
That's right.
I'll get there. I think the album's also streaming out there. So I've been lucky to have some cool things during quarantine, trying to get them TV gigs. And there was one more question.
Well, I said, what are you taking out of this year-long experience?
How much time we got?
You have a minute.
No, I mean, I learned a lot. I feel like it's a renaissance. I think for myself, for a lot of people, I think I closed a lot of chapters in the past, and I will move forward in a different way. And I think I'm going to walk through the rest of my life, or I hope so, in my power. And I'm really excited about that, and seeing what people stick with me and what people don't. And it's okay both ways.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I love that. I love that. Grasan?
Wow, that was great, Tyler. Are you doing inspirational speaking as well? You got me.
You said I lost a finger. It taught me a lot.
Oh my gosh. I'm currently in Los Angeles where I live. I literally moved to LA after the Tony Awards with Once on This Island. That was my last Broadway show. Been out here for going on 3 years this summer. And it was challenging pivoting to not only a new city, but just everything new. New community, new way of getting around, literally. A new profession, kind of, but not really. I'm still continually auditioning for TV and film and commercial. I've been really close to things, which has been exciting. In the meantime, my fiance and I, along with another business partner, we are co-founders of a gender-neutral streetwear clothing company called Subject to Change. We're going in the second year of operation. We have a partnership with Barry's Boot Camp, so we will have our clothing nationwide this summer. That is a announcement.
Yes.
You will find Barry's Boot Camp and Subject to Change partnership for Pride in their clothing, in their merchandise stores all over the nation. Other than that, I'm engaged. We postponed our wedding. Was going to be this year, but we postponed it. And the pandemic and quarantine has just really taught me to focus on what really matters in the moment. It's really made me establish that all my needs are met. I have nothing to really complain about. So I look at other people's lives who are really struggling in this time, and it really puts things in perspective for me that all of my needs are met. I should be grateful in that. And just connecting still trying to find ways of connecting, trying to find ways to stay inspired. So it's forced me to be creative in ways that I necessarily would not have been. And for that, I'm grateful. I take life as it comes. I'm still here above ground, so that's all we can do.
Amen.
I have to buy my next sweatsuit. Their cotton is so beautiful. It's so well made. I want the blue tie-dye hoodie and sweatpants.
Yes. So we have most of our sizes are still available, with the exception of I think extra large, but we have smalls all the way to XX. So check us out.
There you go.
We'll stay in quarantine longer. The extra large may.
Get your face.
Cassondra?
I am in New York City. I'm in Harlem, but I just realized something, Grasan, and that is that we both went to LA after Once on This Island.
That's true.
Very different circumstances, but I spent most of the pandemic in Los Angeles because I was on the tour, the Once on This Island First National Tour with Tyler, and it's a wild story, but what had happened was we were in Vegas, and they're like, oh, well, there's this thing, Corona, whatever. We're just going to cancel the next 2 weeks, but we'll reconvene in Los Angeles. So they were, flying people back to New York, and I was like, I don't want to go back to New York. I'll just go to LA and wait for things to resume there, because I've got friends, and I'll just hang out for 2 weeks. 2 weeks turned into 11 months. And I could not return home. But I learned so much in that time. I also released my debut EP in that time.
Hey.
So
it's beautiful.
Thank you.
It's amazing.
But I learned a lot in that time because I've always lived alone here in Harlem. But I had a dog, which is not really living alone. which I did not realize until I was really alone in Los Angeles. And Los Angeles is already a bit isolated. I did get to see Grasan when I was there, which made me very happy. But I was really isolated. Every day was like me, myself, and I looked at myself in the mirror like, so girl, what are we going to do today? You know, I didn't see anybody. But I developed a much better relationship with myself. I became much more patient with myself, much kinder to myself because I had to, out of necessity, because I didn't have people around me who would, you know, tell me like, oh girl, just relax. Everything's going to be okay. So I had to engage in that kind of talk with myself. And it was really beautiful. And that's what I'm taking out of it. And I'm also happy to.
I love it. I love it. Hey, T.
Hey, Lee. I'm in Brooklyn. I have been as busy as I have ever been during this pandemic, teaching at 2 different universities that I teach at NYU in the grad acting program during the year. I've been there for the past 7 years. But when things shut down, I had further schools open up and say they needed virtual teachers. So I ended up teaching at both of those. That's been great. Started Black Theater Coalition, which our mission is to remove the illusion of inclusion in the American theater by helping build a roadmap towards sustainable opportunities employment for Black professionals. So that's been a big thing. And it's been good. It's been very busy. And for me, I think the goal is to learn whatever lesson I needed to learn in this pandemic so that I walk out of this pandemic the human being that I'm supposed to be. And I like what Tyler said, is like getting rid of the stuff that is unnecessary, getting rid of the people who are necessary that aren't happy to see you when they see you, aren't happy with your successes, aren't supporting you when you are having a down moment. So to figure out, to have that and say, that's who I want to be and where I want to go. Listen, but it's true. It's that thing that's like,
amen.
Why are you holding on to the extra? It's Monday, Thursday. Listen, that summer happening in a few minutes. Y'all better go ahead and let it go.
That's right.
I love it.
And if I drop off, I have a rehearsal with one of these colleges at 8:00, and so I've been listening to their Zoom. So if I drop off, that's why. But I love y'all.
Love you too.
Love you, T.
You too, David.
You too, David.
Even me.
David, you know that means you love the most, right?
Absolutely.
I'll take it.
David, I always got your back, David.
I know you do. Always.
And I got your front.
Okay.
Listen, I love David more than anybody because I had to learn to love him. Okay, I had to.
Well, I sat beside him in the dressing room.
My. Is that it?
Do I get a turn?
I know.
Oh,
Yes,
baby.
Sure do.
Right, exactly. So I am living in New York still, but obviously, you know, I'm in Dubai right now, just chilling. Before the pandemic hit, I was doing the Tina Turner musical on Broadway, and plan to go back to it. That's what the producers say. As soon as they open things back up, they said the show is going right back up because it's an important story to be told. I pretty much laid very low during the pandemic, and this is actually one of the first times that I've done something major in terms of traveling or just doing something big. I really just laid low, and that's why I wanted to come and do this trip, because I needed to like start getting back into life and getting back into things. One of the things that I learned from this that I found so important is never take anything for granted. We have a tradition in our theater in Tina. Some of the guys after the show, we would take a shot of bourbon if it was a good show and say, hey, good show, toast it, and head on out on home. And the night before we shut down, we did that, and we said, okay, we'll leave a little bit in the bottle for tomorrow. We'll see you later. Wow. Not knowing that we would see each other later. And so it's really important to remember to say the things that you need to say, do the things that you need to do, because nothing is promised. And that's why I'm in Dubai right now, because I'm just doing what I wanted to do right now.
Yeah.
That's
Amen.
beautiful. Well, we cannot thank you enough for joining us. This has been literally one of the most joyful and inspiring hours we have had on this show for the past year.
Well, that's how we do it here at Once on This Island.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Joyful, joyful.
I feel like we've made 6 new best friends.
Yes.
And we love you all for joining us. We love this
Thank you for having
show.
us.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Robert. Thank you.
Yes.
That
Thank you,
album,
guys.
get the album. Go
Absolutely
buy it.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's so pretty. It's so
It
pretty.
is pretty.
It really
Yeah,
is.
it's so pretty.
Stay safe, and we hope to see you soon.
Thanks,
in
guys, so
person.
much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
It
you,
was our
David.
pleasure.
Love
Bye,
y'all.
everybody.
Sandra.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Grasan. Thank you, Aurelia. Oh my God.
What a beautiful, beautiful group of people for a beautiful, beautiful
I love
show.
them.
Beautiful.
I love them. That was something.
I
I didn't
love
know them except for a couple, and so that was great. That was great. Can you
I love-
imagine being in that cast with that energy? And
No, you talk about that as an all-star group of performers that are in that, from
amazing,
Leia to Merle to Haley to Alex to everyone that was. I mean,
amazing.
like they're a group.
Just amazing.
This
Hey,
show
what
boggles my mind every week when we do it. It ends, and I literally go, "How the hell did this all happen?" So, Lee, thank you.
Well, it did. It did. But before we go, on Wednesday, it's the Broadway Cast Reunion Series, Jersey Boys. We're discussing 15 years of Jersey Boys worldwide with co-book writers Rick Ellis and Marshall Brickman and director Des McAnuff. And here is what we're talking about.
Oh, what a night. Why did it take so long to see the light? It seemed so wrong, but now it seems so right. Sweet surrender, what a night. I felt a rush like a rolling ball of thunder, spinning my head around and taking my body under. What a night. Oh, what a night. What a night. Oh, what a night. Oh, what a night.
Join us Wednesday.
I'm excited. Well, this was great. This was great fun. If you want to get the album of Once on This Island, the vinyl album, go to BroadwayRecords.com. I want to thank them so much for including us on these special release episodes. It's just a joy. It is really just a joy. Robert?
Woo! Another
Week
one.
50.
Week 50.
Amazing.
And we'll see you next week.
I'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.